Ah, that is some good coffee. Mark, what is going on? Thanks for joining me on our little slice of life, being episode 3 of Pocket Edition.
Thanks for having me.
What's going on? You recently got back from Japan.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. I was only there for a week, but I tended to get a lot done.
Yeah, like watch Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, I mean, like, that I took up a lot of it, but it was downtime.
Tell us the story.
So, after going into our Airbnb, we realized that the TV was Netflix enabled, and this is like this is like 11 at night, and we were scrolling through Netflix, and nothing was like dubbed or anything like that. Nothing had subs, for English subs anyway, except for Full Metal Alchemist. And so that's how we decided. We're like, hey, there's 64 episodes, and we're here for a little over a week. I think we can do this.
Challenge accepted.
So
is that why you came back early? Because you finished Full Metal Alchemist?
I mean, I left on the day that we finished it.
Okay.
But that's completely unrelated, though.
The truth comes out.
I teared up again at the end. But yeah, so that was just downtime stuff. But during the week, we tried to do, like, each day was some sort of extra adventure. So on our first day, we found a proper arcade. So it had like all the claw game machines and everything. But on the second floor, it had 8 or so cabinets of like Tekken 7, a bunch of like those
very cool.
crazy rhythm games.
That's right up your alley, right? Like all the fighting games and stuff. So you would have loved that.
And then they had this whole row of vacant machines. I don't know why no one was playing them, but it was Dissidia that I'd just done an impressions video before I came over.
Oh, so that's what that was. Because I think I saw the photo of that in the Discord before the actual video went up. And I'm like, what's he talking about? What is this Dissidia? Yeah.
So I just sat down and was playing that by myself. And it was just really, really awesome because it had like 20 extra characters.
So are there heaps of arcades over there then? Like, is that still a pretty popular thing? Like arcades? Like I can imagine walking in, you get like, what's it called? What's that racing one?
Initial D. Like all that kind of stuff. Is that like, in terms of like the arcade space, are they just hugely prevalent over there? Yeah, so the arcade scene just never died. It just kept getting stronger there. And it's like, it was crazy. You could go any sort of, like say a 5-10 minute walk away from another arcade and you'd walk into a new one. And like the arcades are like 3-4 floors high.
It reminds me of when I went to the UK and they had the penny arcades. Do you know what they are? Yeah, so basically you just literally give them pennies for nothing. Like you just throw your pennies in these machines and they have all these different little puzzles and, you know, it's like you throw more in, you get a chance to tip some more over a ledge or something like that. It's like the skill test is here, but here we have candy bars instead. Yay, I want a fun-sized candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how it never disappeared. It kind of reminds me as well of like you look in Korea and other Asian countries, the LAN society, like with, you know, you go to a LAN house or like a PC house and you pay time to just play on their systems all day. Like, is it similar to that in a sense? Like how do you pay for it all?
Yeah, so just every machine is just like coin op, but all of the arcades have like crazy opening and closing times. Like it was like the one that I went to was, I think it opened at 2 a.m. and closed at midnight.
Wow.
So there's only like a 2-hour gap, and there's always people in there to just clean up for that small bracket.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because it's like whenever we went, it was just always busy no matter what time of day.
Oh, that's very cool. To carry on with your adventure, what else? We can touch on some gaming related stuff, but I want to know more specifically, and this probably more ties in with our slice of life. What is some weird shit that you saw? Surely you saw some weird shit. Like Japan has some very weird culture that we kind of go, like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
There is a big culture around vending machines. So it's like vending machines, you can get cigarettes, beer, coffee, but all of it's cold.
Oh, nice. Cold cigarettes.
Yeah, and like there are a few vending machines that actually just pop out hot food, which is really confusing and really cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit off-putting. Yeah. I've seen pizza vending machines that do that, and I've never quite grasped how they're doing it. Now, I've seen some weird-ass meals as well. Like, I watched one on Facebook the other day where it was like a squid or an octopus or something on top of some Japanese rice dish. And apparently they say it was dead. But they were pouring hot water over it, and it was like reanimating the muscles. Did you have anything weird, or did you see anything weird like that?
Not on this trip, but yes, I have seen stuff like that where they have like fish flakes that crisp and flake around on your meal, so it looks like your meal's moving.
So it's actually the individual flakes off of the fish, like different muscle groups and stuff, and it would just like
and so
come to life under heat and
yeah,
pulsate.
it's kind of like
it's
kind of like looking at a campfire. It looks like it's really mesmerizing, but you don't want to touch it while it's moving.
And you had to eat that though.
Yeah, because like that was like the garnish around it. Like the main thing was something else.
Right. No wonder you got sick, man. That's crazy.
But it's like out of like some other things, they've got like a chain of restaurants called Freshness Burger, and they had this in particular burger, a Spam burger.
Yeah, I saw that picture. You didn't try that?
No, I did
you?
not. I did not want to risk it.
Do you reckon that's like how we view some foods overseas? Like we see some American foods and we're like, yes, I always wanted to try this. Do you reckon like Spam in Japanese culture, or the availability of Spam at least? Do you think it's kind of like one of those rarities? And then when you put it in a burger, they're like, oh, like, Spam. Like, it's kind of the same way we view foods overseas. Like, we get excited to try it. And that's kind of why they've built this burger around it, or this restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, because there is a very, very big culture on Western dishes or things like that. Like, if you were to have Pizza Hut or Domino's or something in Japan, it's freakishly expensive.
Yeah, and they'd probably flip out over it, right? Like that would be...
It's like overloaded, looks beautiful. The ads like talk it up like crazy amounts, and like
you say,
and it'll be like a culture of like 6 or 8 people will buy like a single pizza because it's such like a big thing to do it.
Yeah, it's like exciting, right? Like it's this hype built around it. Like when we try weird foods here as well. I guess we're the same, in a sense. Everyone's the same, but. When you say like it looks beautiful, all I can think about is the way anime food looks.
Yeah. Oh,
how it always looks gorgeous, like ramen bowls.
That's one of the things. Japanese food is like picture perfect.
Yeah, and it's the same in their anime as well. Like what's with that? Like presentation. Like I imagine their restaurants. Did you go to any really nice restaurants over there where it's just like you look at it, you're like, oh my god, like this is MasterChef.
Yeah, it was like I mean, it is a nice restaurant, but it was a themed restaurant. I went to the Square Enix cafe.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that.
And so I had Final Fantasy pancakes.
Oh.
And it looked exactly like the photo that I ordered it from. Like exact same angle and everything. I took a photo to illustrate it. And we can probably put that up in the podcast. But
definitely.
It just looked amazing. It had like this little Moogle imprint from Final Fantasy. And it's just like every single strawberry and everything like that was the exact same color and cut as the photo. And I was just like, you're putting a ridiculous amount of effort.
Yeah, they're probably like using samurai swords out the back or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Cut the strawberries up. Yeah, definitely. Folded steel.
Yeah, they've got like
katanas.
Like a team of 20, just very delicately.
I can imagine them like all fondling over this one strawberry like it's some kind of operation or something like that.
Absolutely. That's why it took so long.
Oh, God, is a long wait time, was it?
Usually there isn't a long wait time, but on stuff like that, yeah. Massively long wait.
On things like strawberries.
Yeah.
Strawberries and pancakes. Jesus Christ, I'd hate to think if you got something like elaborate.
But it's like I went to this ramen place where it's like they've only got a single ramen that you can order from a vending machine, and like you go to your seat and everything like that. But then there's like 20 extras that you can order, and then they just throw it into the bowl.
Sorry, did you say from a vending machine again?
Yes. So
Mark, this is why you got sick.
Yeah, so you get your ticket from the vending machine, and then they make it for you when you hand them the ticket.
Oh, okay, now I've got you. Yeah. Okay, that sounds fairly safe. Then.
Yeah, that's there's a big culture of that, especially since it kind of breaks the language barrier.
Yeah. No, I got you right.
But
quickly though, back to the Final Fantasy pancakes.
Yep.
They look amazing, but what do they taste like?
Equally amazing.
When you have to assign a flavor to Final Fantasy, what is it?
Oh,
like beyond strawberries.
It was soft and magical.
That's not a flavor, but I'll take it. That's fine. Okay, I'll have to go there and try it myself.
Magical is the best way I can do it.
Magical. Okay, fantastic. Great. What else did you get up to beyond food?
Yeah, so I'd never tried VR gaming, so I was really sort of waiting to try something like that. And Japan presented the perfect opportunity for that because they opened up this thing called the VR Zone. And it's basically owned by Namco. And Namco also owned the rights to Mario Kart as an arcade game. So they had VR Mario Kart, VR Dragon Ball Z, VR Evangelion, and a bunch of other things. So we decided to go and try it.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So is that like a was that like a pitch or a demo for something that is actually coming, like outside of arcades, or was Namco just going to employ like VR arcades now? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah, it seems like it's just going to be a VR arcade thing. It would be awesome. It would be awesome if they employed it outside, because Mario Kart was phenomenal.
Yeah, so, it still is.
Yeah, so basically, like what it is, each thing is using HTC Vive. And they're all very, like, they're not just you put the headset on and you put on the thing and you just stand in a spot. They've customized all of the gear to suit that particular game. So Mario Kart was this massive kart with pedals and a wheel and everything, and then they strap VR sensors to your hands, onto your head and everything like that, and then just throw you in, and so you can see your fingers and everything like that when you're in the game.
So you just like put your hands up, you've got like Mario hands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was Yoshi, so it was weird because I had five fingers down to 3.
Well, I bet it was fucking weird when you laid an egg. What was it? How did it play? Like, what did it play like? Does it play like Mario Kart? Do they give you like what's the control interface? Are you just using the actual kart steering wheel and pedals? Is that how it plays? And visually, does it just look like Mario Kart, like the Wii U version or the Switch version?
It was pretty much like same graphical capacity as the Wii U one. And it plays like a traditional kart racer, like in an arcade where you just grab the steering wheel.
That sounds so cool.
But for items and things like that, they aren't the blocks that you hit. You have to reach out and pull them off of like these balloons that are hanging in the sky.
Oh,
and so
okay.
Like, so you'll see a turtle.
They encourage you to be very animated in the cockpit, I guess, the driver's seat.
Yeah, and so it's like you grab the turtle shell and you actually have to grip it in your hand, and then release your hand when you throw it.
I could imagine you like leaning out to like grab shells off the side of the road and all that kind of stuff. That sounds really cool.
And so it's like when I'm going and I'm seeing my friends, it's like you see them almost fall out of the cart as they try to reach for something. And
classic. That sounds awesome.
And things like that. And like it was just super immersive because the cart will like lift up and dip, and you'll have like wind.
Oh, so it's actually got like kind of like rumble, like in a sense where you go into like those theme parks and you get on like the Armageddon rides and you're in the spaceship and it's rocking around and stuff.
Yeah, and it was just as my first VR experience, I was like, oh yeah, it's not going to hit me that hard. I'm not going to be like feeling it. I'm 100% sure that it's not real and all that. Okay. But the second I strapped on the goggles, I was like, crap. I'm feeling this.
And then you came home early, sick.
Yeah. I hope that didn't have anything to do with it.
It was probably a combination of the vending machine food and the VR experience. I think that's probably what KO'd you. Back to the VR though. Did you try Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, so the Dragon Ball Z one was simple, but it was really cool. So it's basically a similar thing. You have to stand in place, and they put things on you. Put sensors on your hands, like it covers your whole hand. And I think that there was one on your chest and on your head. So it'll register when you do a stance to charge up energy, when you blast, like just the basic energy blast, or when you do a Kamehameha.
You're telling me that all of our childhood dreams have been realized, and you can do Kamehameha waves.
Absolutely, you can even destroy the environment around you.
Oh my god, I have to go to Japan.
Yeah, and so it's
sounds incredible.
And like your arms are Goku's arms, so you can just.
Oh my god, I'm finally jacked too. That's so good.
And so it's just like childhood fantasy. Like it wasn't like in the end, it wasn't really anything special, but it was just like fulfilling a childhood fantasy, and you're just like
I know. I mean, like I don't know about you, but I'd had plentiful dreams where you'd be like a Dragon Ball Z character when I was younger, all the time. Just you'd watch it every morning, you'd watch it every night. That was it. Amazing.
And like one of the things, I didn't buy it when I was there because just for space, but you could buy a take home Dragon Ball Z VR set that has like hand sensors and the thing for the Vive and everything.
Oh my god, that is so good. And I haven't even got a Vive, but it just makes me want one even more now. That's ridiculous. That's amazing.
Yeah, they were so happy about it, and the place was very English friendly.
Okay, so is that generally the case with a lot of kind of Japan? At least, sorry, were you in Tokyo?
Yeah. So
I'd imagine Tokyo would be very English friendly due to it being a very big tourist destination, at least.
Yeah. Tokyo is generally very English friendly. Most signs are in English as well as Japanese.
Okay, that's very cool.
And then like definitely massive tourist spots are always in English.
Nice. So speaking of tourist spots and road signage, someone told me, and I don't know how true, I don't know if someone was just taking the piss out of me or not, but somebody told me that on the streets there's this go-kart thing, but it's Mario Kart, and you can take these carts that is essentially Mario Kart themed out onto the streets.
You can absolutely do that. I was staying in Shibuya, which is the district of Tokyo where they do that. And so we'd wake up in the morning or go home at night and see these guys dressed up as Bowser and Yoshi and Peach and Mario Kart. Just
they go the next level, like they're dressing them up and everything.
Yeah, and like they're legit on the road, following the road rules and everything. And they've got like a party leader, and there's like 8 people following them.
So what is the point? Is it like a tourist bus, but you're getting these Mario Kart go-karts and you just go look at the scenes in your carts? Like, what's the go? Are you actual racing? Do you throw shit at people?
No,
like...
no. It's I'm sure they'd get in heaps of trouble. No, it's sort of like what you said, a tour bus type thing, just so you can see the city, but through that sort of lens.
Yeah,
and
that's really cool.
And it's just really funny, especially since you hear like people just yell out, "It's a me!" because it's only Westerners that do it, and it's just the funniest thing.
I was talking about this the other day with my mate. I'm like, could you imagine? Like, this sounds fantastic. Like, I'd love to give it a crack, but could you imagine if they had that here in Australia or in other Western societies? Like, we have enough issue with cyclists on our road wanting to take them out, and 10 points if you hit a cyclist. Could you imagine if we had tourists coming here jetting around on Mario Kart go-karts on our roads?
Oh, it'd be horrible.
It'd last about a week and there'd be quite a few fatalities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't get how it works. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, and apparently the tourists or the population in Japan, they're quite friendly and okay with it all.
Yeah. Like, this is just from my experience, but from what I've sort of gathered is that there's just a mutual trust and respect for each other.
Yeah.
And that just carries over to everything. And so they're just very friendly because everyone else is friendly to them. And like for one time I saw like a construction worker take off his tool belt with like hundreds of dollars worth of tools and leave them outside a 7-Eleven while he went and did his business inside. Came out like 5 minutes later and his belt was there. Like, if you tried that anywhere else, his belt would have been gone.
Yeah, that's it. That's ridiculous. It definitely sounds like an amazing culture to live in. I'd definitely have to get over there one day and have a look. Now, this is your second time going back, isn't it? Third. Okay, so you've got an obsession. So are you going to find are they called waifus then? Is that what you're looking for? Is that what you're searching for in Japan? True love?
No, I mean, like, that can happen, but it's not the express purpose of my visits.
You're not looking for it, but if it happens, okay.
Yeah, like I'll absolutely let it happen. Like some of the friends that I was going with, that was kind of their express purpose. Like,
oh wow,
they went to Japanese Hooters one of those nights.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna be honest, that sounds great. I mean, that sounds really good.
And they were trying to pick up.
I mean, I don't know. Like, do Japanese women have Hooters on them? Or are they kind of more petite? Yes. Like, I feel like maybe that kind of defeats.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that it's part of like the job criteria. It's like,
I think that actually applies to all Hooters.
Yeah, it's like that 5% of the population that can be in a Hooters will go to Hooters.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that sounds great. I'm going there for that very reason. All right, Mark, thanks for joining me, mate. Sounds like you had a really fun time.
No worries, it's great great being here.
Great being there. Great here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm still jet lagged.
You're still jet lagged with the hour difference. Okay, we'll pin it on that. So Mark is very jet lagged. He's also getting over the flu, but thanks for joining me, Mark. Thank you to the audience for joining us for this slice of life, being episode 3. Remember, if you've enjoyed this episode, please remember to give us a like, subscribe if you feel so. Check out the channel, the GameCast channel, where you can find a lot more variety in video game content, being news, reviews, and other podcasts as well. And please leave your thoughts. Have you been to Japan? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. We shall see you in episode 4.